Hakuryu, sure. Alright, so the Hakuryu is a tier 10 Japanese CV, tech tree CV. She's got really impactful torpedoes that go out in waves of 12. She's got AP bombs, which are nice, and but aren't always going to get a citadel. And then she's got HVAR rockets. So the first two slots are just going to pick the basic upgrades. They look like planes, pick them. For slot 3, don't care about additional attack time. Not going to use the secondaries. That's going to result in, sure, let's use the torpedo speed. Additional health on the torpedoes because it's the highlight of the Japanese line. I don't really see much of a need to take health on anything else. And flight control mod because we're going into random battles with 12 enemies. So the more planes, we're going to start with 2 additional planes and bonus regen. Gives us a little more flexibility across a longer battle. If we were looking at more of a ranked or a competitive situation, we'd probably end up choosing squadron consumable mod for longer duration fighters as well as a longer duration heal on the torpedoes. Then lastly, in slot 6, there is a unique mod, which is... it's a different way to play the ship. It gives you high velocity strikes, which means you can burn in, strike, and get out of the AA fairly quickly, but you really don't have a lot of boost to be able to do this long term, and it requires a different concept of play. So in terms of speed or health, I do tend to choose speed. Speed translates to map influence. The sooner you get somewhere, the sooner you're helping. And while additional health might nurse 1 additional plane back every other strike, as it could be the difference between losing a plane and it coming back really with very low health, I'm just going to stay with flight control mod on this. So for the commander, we have more, faster, healthier. And then outside of that, we're going to take additional torpedo throughput. I do like sight stab on my Japanese carriers because I find that you can firm the reticle a little faster when making an AP bomb drop and try to pull in the reticle to get a tighter down angle. And it also helps with the torpedoes too. Outside of that, some additional fighters and some additional boost. I tend to find this is my my 19-point captain. Outside of this, the additional 2 points, I might take additional patrol range as well as last gasp. If I wanted to, I could take enhanced reactions on this because that's going to give me the ability to protect against an FDR where carrier support may be required to bully through the massive resources of the FDR. Outside of that, we don't need... oh, okay, we can use this because this will save us some credits. Sure. And let's see. So we got our little thing. Yeah, we are good to go. Thank you very much for the 5 gifted subs, man. That's very generous of you. That was very generous of you. Many joy feelings to you as well, Humpy Bane. Heyo, Lasting Gray. Overlord Boo just made a coal video. Oh, well, that's nice. Probably I should make that a lesson, what to do with coal. I could do that. Well, let's see. Notepad. Try to trim this out. Because I have to do my editing manually now, so... no. Midway game. Midway game. Do. Coal lesson. I guess. I don't know. And we'll go from there. What would you give up for the 4th fighter skill? 4th fighter skill. You mean the 4-point? You don't give up anything per se. It's the fighters will latch immediately, but they have a longer warm-up time. So normally the fighters will come in over 5 seconds and then start to patrol. And then as they're patrolling, it takes about 2 seconds for them to latch onto a target to then go after the target to shoot them. With enhanced reactions, you front load that 2 seconds. So instead of 5 seconds, it takes 7 for them to come down. And then once they patrol, they just latch. It's not completely immediate. The numbers are slightly different than that, but that's the easy way to represent it. Is that you pay that 2 seconds up front so that they latch after. And it also gives them an increased duration, which is nice as well, especially in ranked situations. You're on World of Warships now? Well, it's a good game. Yes, very generous of you, Halsey. Yeehaw, man. So I guess we get to wait for a little bit. So if anybody has any questions, don't be afraid to ask in the chat. As for people that are newer to CVs, I do have a compendium that is a post on the North American Forum that holds about 150 to 160 lessons. What is a lesson? It's going to be something where I explain I explain a mechanic or respond to a question. It takes me something between maybe 2.5 minutes or maybe even up to 10 minutes. And that's sort of a linked amount of stuff for you. So if we check this out, I guess, while we're just waiting in queue. So I'll go ahead and just show it to people. The longtime viewers have seen this many times. But this is going to be a post on the North American Forum. You might think, well, where are the videos? What the hell? These are spoilers. So if you click this, it'll open up Introduction to CVs. We have some coaching sessions here. We have a basic introduction to the absolute basics of what is a carrier. And you can further open up the spoiler once you found what you wanted to watch and see the video that will load inside, or just use the raw link to go to YouTube. Sometimes people's browsers don't load the videos, so that's why the raw links are included. But you've got all sorts of stuff. Introduction to CVs. You have an entire section about explaining AA, fighters, map interactions, hull placement tactics, CV attacking styles, commander stuff, carrier mechanics, CVs and clan battles. There's all sorts of stuff. And I think I even have more to add to it. But at the moment, well, I'm streaming, so I'm not adding to it. Alrighty. Can you play with me? You could send me a message. Well, when I'm doing this, I need to be a little more responsive to what people are asking and where I need to go and what I need to do. So I don't necessarily have the ability to sort of wait on people. So I have had people along in the past, but I'm not talking to them and I'm not interacting with them. I'm presenting for the stream. Okay, so we're in a Hakuryu. We can get AP bombs into the Yamato, the Kurfürst, and the Montana to an extent. Also, we could bomb the Des Moines. So we do have a lot of stuff that we can bomb. 2 subs, 2 destroyers, and we have an Immelmann. Interesting. Well, we're still just going to go out with the rocket planes because they're fast, so they're going to give us some intelligence.
Battle starts.
What is the Tier 8 Soviet Tech Tree CV most similar compared to other nations' CV playstyle, please? Do you find the slow speed frustrating? Yes, I find the slow speed frustrating. I don't like the slower speed, especially because of its limitation and broadside-only attacks. The Russian CVs are most like the Immelmann, which is a coal carrier, which is broadside only. That being said, the Immelmann is very fast, so it can quickly get to positions where it can strike broadsides on targets. Russian CVs are not fast, which means that they don't really have that option. By the time they get somewhere, the person could just turn. The stream stop? No, stream's still working. I still see the update. Okay. So there's a Des Moines, we saw an Elbing, Immelmann as well. We might strike the Des Moines here, but I would like to continue to get some information. It's 2 destroyers, 2 subs, and we really don't have anything going for that, so I think we're just gonna have to bully the open water Des Moines here. Pop the engine boost so I can try to make this play. 4-second lead time. 2, 3, 4, shoot. We took some damage. 10k is fairly decent, I suppose. With the Elbing and stuff, we're just not going to get any damage interactions, so we're going to throw the planes out to the water. Now, the Hakuryu has an armored deck.
Autopilot mode
something
enabled.
like 90 millimeters. So as long as we're pointing toward the threat, the shells should shatter or bounce off the hull in most cases. So we can start to push. We have a Thunder we can help with, the GK that seems to be AFK, which is no bueno. But we did at least get to see one of the subs, so there's still a destroyer or sub. Something's going on in Charlie that we don't know about. And we're not seeing this. I don't know what's spotting the Des Moines at the moment, but let's try and keep him off the island. Because that's going to be his happy place. He's going to want to snuggle up into his waifu's thighs here. So we're going to pop a heal, because the Elbing plus the Des Moines is significant. It's going to get him to turn. I don't know if we get any torps in on that, but it is going to push him out into the open. Where theoretically, anybody actually taking shots would do damage to it. Although nobody seems to care about that, so that's cool. We might get one torpedo there. We're trying to turn away from additional AA. The Elbing is actually a real problem for us. We lose a torpedo coming back in on this just to the base AA of the Des Moines. But whatever. I don't think he can really move. Submarines there. The Elbing did a lot of work to us. He got a lot of plane kills. We might have to try to work on the Yamato later.
Fighter destroyed.
But if I could get the Des Moines down, I think that would be very powerful. Hey, Wolf's Wet Paws. Booster's getting kind of hurt. Alright, cool. So the Thunder is able to start getting involved here, which is nice. Des Moines, again, wants to go to an island. So we're coming in from the direction of where the Des Moines wants to go. Now, because it's not a battleship, we don't have to drop from an extremely high height, but you can see how obnoxious it is to try and turn with Japanese dive bombers. They really want to find a line and stay on it. They do not want to maneuver. They just want to go exactly in the direction that they've been going and not have to deviate if at all possible. Alright, so there's a Yamato still. These are all grouped up, which is providing overlapping AA. Kurfürst versus Vampire. Hopefully the Kurfürst does okay. Vampire has torps, I believe. And the Worcester is trying to buff out his paint. Drop a fighter so that we could maybe see over the island, but we cannot. Unfortunate.
Fighter airborne.
1, 2, 3, 4, shoot. We get to take that off the board.
An enemy cruiser.
Still is a Yamato down there, which we can give some information for, or we could spot the Belau, which we might have to do. I might be able to hit the Elbing. Maybe I could do that. Let's save up some boost and try to work on the Elbing. No, I need to work on the Belau, because if I can spot the Belau, then our guys can harass it, our sub can harass it. And at the moment, I'm not seeing this, so no, I cannot, which is unfortunate. So we see where the long-range gun threats are. So we can bounce shells as long as we're bow into this. GK's getting farmed. Maybe we can pull some fire onto us. Why are there so few players? So if somebody waits in queue for an extended duration of time, the matchmaker starts to get a little funny. Because it doesn't want people to be waiting. It wants people to get handled or taken care of, put into a game. So when it starts waiting past 3 minutes, it starts to be a little more lenient in what it picks. When it starts getting past 5 minutes, it gets more. So there may have been a sub waiting in queue for a long time or a CV waiting in queue for a long time that just caused the match to get made earlier than normal. We're going to drop off the tip of the nose of the front gun, see where those bombs land. Down goes the Montana. Don't really want to strike an Elbing. Not going to get much there, but we could try to work on the Kurfürst? Kurfürst over here. So we're a little out of position. I popped the engine boost so we can be ready for it. Not sure what happens with the Elbing and the sub. If they use hydrophone,
Destination
I don't know.
Autopilot mode disabled.
Shimakaze can just walk over to the sub, sit on top of it while the two submarines keep rotating hydro as they just straight up murder it. So let's pick the line before we start the attack. If we pull off of our line at all, then we de-aim badly. Drop off the tip of the gun in the front, tip of the nose in the front gun. 3 bomb hits, 2 sits. Guys, what the hell? Hey, you.
Teammate, I need your support. Teammate, I need your support.
There's a sub here. Friends, pay attention, please. Bizarre. Whatever. So we might end up juking some submarine torps. Reversing is going to actually make that harder for us, but it'll probably be okay. And as obnoxious as this is, I actually have to go over and respot this. Oh, but he's being forced to the surface, so there we go. So I can actually get ready to torp him. He's broadside, and subs do not turn very well at all. Now, because he has like 2 seconds of depth time, he may actually be able to dive, which is what he's gonna do. But we did at least, we did get a nip out of him, which is nice. And I think we have to bomb the Kerr first again. So our fighter's going to keep him lit as long as he's not at maximum depth. He is underneath periscope depth, which means he's in operating stuff. Why he's still down there with no time, I don't understand. I really hope that gets altered. Kerr first is pushing forward. We're going to try to have some Citadel interactions. And because the Kerr first seems to actually be playing the game as opposed to the Yamato, we should probably have more angling to the Kerr first, if given the choice. Try to stick the line. We're unfortunately started very early because of the way the flak was. Slow down to pull the reticle underneath. And he got oofed. Can we do it a second time? Maybe. We don't have a lot of boost though. And we do get to see where the other sub is, so that's helpful for us. Now that's 2 Citadels. Set the line before the attack. Start the attack. Slam on the brakes. Seems he's slowing down too. No Citadels, much sad. Need to angle a little more to the GK, which is going to be down there. Although that's still wrong. Hey, autopilot, go in a direction. Alright. This is keeping us intermittently lit. GK has more health than theirs does, so I think if we can get some torpedoes into this, it'll work. However, we can't strike from that other side. So our torpedoes have an arming distance, and they're not going to be able to arm between the ship and that island. So we drop here because he's going slow. Hard turn off. I'm actually going to pop the heel here because we're kind of hovering close to the ship in medium range. We're going to have to swing all the way around to be able to strike this. Unless he gets shot. There we go. So now we can actually go find the U-boat. As well, we can move forward. Do we still have ships? Doesn't feel like we have ships. Might have to start. I might have to torp the Daring. Or the Elbing.
Fighter airborne.
He turns in, so we tried to drop a little early. That's not going to matter at all. Supposedly we have ships. I'm just struggling to find where they are right now. We might get a nose interaction, but I think if he just doesn't move forward, he doesn't get hit. So we actually need to slow down because we'll be run off the side of the map. Elbing's super slow. Hopefully he's dead.
Autopilot mode disabled.
Let's take rockets for the Vampire. There's still a Yamato, which is an issue. Can we get the Vampire here? That I don't know. And I should be reversing.
Autopilot mode enabled.
Let's try to get some information for... I started that way too early. So normally, you do not skip the aiming animation, but we need any bit of visibility that we can have. So in the case of rocket planes, you may actually end up doing that. And we're gonna go over and try to respot the sub. Which is there.
All stations, concentrate fire on the target.
Fighter airborne.
Alright, so I think we have to help with the Yamato now. Because our Thunderer is just kind of facing him, and the Implement is going to be working on a Thunderer as well. Unfortunately, Bravo has fallen, and unless this guy starts landing torps and pings, nothing's going to happen there. And that's going to kill the Thunderer, so maybe we can help with the Yamato? Maybe? How was my day? My day was okay. Just a lot of stuff going on, so just trying to work through it. Implement's coming in, that'll be the kill, sure. And now, unfortunately, we have a Yamato that is unbound. Yamato can turn in any direction he wants to do whatever he wants.
Fighter returning to ship.
And he's got a fighter plus the Implement fighter, which is pretty rough. We're gonna have to save our heal for when those latch. So let's get the Daka Daka noises so that we can heal through. about now. Try to preserve some of our planes, because that's the Yamato plus the CV there. This is not enough to kill. Yamato's AA is not great, but the torpedo damage we're going to get is pretty terrible.
Autopilot
We have to
mode
cap,
enabled.
which also sucks. Okay, you gotta help, dude.
Teammate, I need your support.
All forces,
I think
capture
he
that
killed the
area.
enemy sub, so that is good. Maybe. Immelman's not going to get much out of that.
Torpedoes, direct front.
Maybe we can work the Yamato here. Alright. This will be a bad drop. Oh, no, he's going to turn in to help us out. That's a bro move. Come on, come on. No citadels. Great.
Autopilot mode disabled.
We have to torp this again, but he's going to get fighters, which is a problem.
Autopilot mode enabled.
Okay, so we could potentially get the Yamato down. Instead of dicking with this stuff in mid, I should have just gone after the Yamato. And he's going to refighter. What a champion. Alright. We have a heal in 20-something seconds. I need to deal with the vampire.
Destination reached. Autopilot mode disabled.
If I had waited a few seconds, I had a heal.
Battle ends in 5 minutes.
Jesus Christ. I might have to kill the vampire here.
Autopilot mode enabled.
We need citadels. We need 2 citadels. Then we have to kill the vampire somehow. We're gonna have an Immelman on top of us, which is gonna be extremely obnoxious. Yamato is already turning. So we're gonna have to make sure that we set the line to anticipate that. Slam on the brakes, try to get a better down angle. Drop a little early, he's moving fairly slow. Come around, get a second drop, that's a kill, good. Rocket planes for A.
Battleship founder.
May have to move into A. Hopefully he dicks with the sub. Hopefully he dicks with the sub. Can't do it. But I have to. Give me a reset. I can't. God damn it. Vampire's smoke is gonna last a long time. If I can kill him, I get some points here.
Problem solved, sir.
We have to push. There is no not push here. If I get lucky, I mean, I can get a severe hit, but 4-second lead time with no surface ship pressure? I don't think that's possible, man. Not against salts. They're gonna know what the hell they're doing. God. Fuck this. Just go with torps. Okay, so if we can get something here, which we're not going to, but if we could, hell, we might just be able to secondary him down. Because there's nothing else that we have to be able to do this. We might be able to AP bomb him, maybe?
The ship is on fire.
Wouldn't that be a laugh? Hopefully this torp off on the side will make it happen. All we need is one.
The ship is on fire.
It's just, there's nothing to do here.
The ship is on fire.
Have to get the vampire.
Hull breach. We're taking on water quickly.
And that's a no. Can't pull it back. Do I use sight stab for the Hakuryu? Yes, I do. What is my favorite tier 10 CV? Well, probably in terms of effectiveness, I would say the Midway. But in terms of, well, no, probably the Richthofen. Richthofen is a little awkward in terms of dealing damage sometimes, but I do enjoy her a lot. I also like the Audacious quite a bit. Hilarious how AP bombs are the most likely to do damage here. Let's see. Can see just how terribly it de-aims. There's no way I can get enough damage into him. Although, he'll step on C-cap when there's like 994 points to go. So, Japanese carrier, not strong against destroyers, as we can see here. So if a destroyer turns or points itself effectively, it can juke torpedoes, it can, with a 4-second lead time on the rockets, it can simply show where it wants to go and then alter, which means it's not going to die. And then AP bombs are going to overpen even if they hit, so very unfortunate there. Maybe if I had worked on the Yamato sooner and kept the Thunderer in the game, but there was stuff happening in B-cap, there was stuff happening south of A, there was a lot of stuff going on in a lot of places, so it is what it is.